girlfriend.
Welcome to this Here for the Girls breast cancer news blog with Jenny and myself, your social work interns. And today we had the wonderful, exciting experience of going to the FDA had a panel on from the Oncology Center of Excellence that included doctors, breast cancer patients, a board member from the Massey Center, as well as a doctor there. And the focus was on Black History Month and how to infuse the world of cancer care with better practices related to reaching out to Black Americans. And we wanted to just have a quick conversation about some of the highlights from that experience. And so I'm going to let Jenny speak and then I'll answer back.
Excellent. Thank you, Jody. It was just a fantastic panel, and it's recorded on YouTube. If anybody wants to go and watch it, I'm sure we can put the link in. And, you know, there were so many things that stood out, but I think the ultimate most important thing that my takeaway was the importance of clinical trials.
Absolutely.
And, so, you know, in the past, Black and African-American members of our society, and they also said, and other members of color have been left out of these clinical trials to try out medications and treatments and to research types of cancer.
Exactly. And one of the things that stuck out to me about that I did not know, and I don't know if other people do not know this, is that clinical trials are, it's not a catch as catch can kind of situation where you're not going to be getting treatment. People do get treatment, and people who go to clinical trials tend to have better outcomes. I thought that was very well said by Dr. Nguyen from the Massey Cancer Care Center. He was very clear about that and talked about a sort of whole family approach also. I wondered if that stuck out to you. That really hit me.
Yes, I actually wrote that down. People who participate in clinical trials have better outcomes. The other part of that being that it was not just in treatment, but in diagnosis. So in participating in clinical trials can help determine what type of cancer an individual might have, and that's an important piece of it.
Exactly. And also what happens, one of the people that is engaged in some clinical trials was engaged in things I had never even thought of, things like well-being for her whole life, her sexual life, as well as her mental health and self-care. So there were trials of all sorts. And I thought that was a really important piece of information that could be shared. Another thing that stuck out to me was Dr. Borno from the University of California, San Francisco mentioned a thing called the trial library, which is they're trying to get more technology and more services available so people have access to this information and know what's going on. It's not always easy to find out.
Right. And I think that also ties in with something Dr. Nguyen talked about, which was it wasn't just persons of color or persons living in poverty, but also the difference between rural and urban areas.
Exactly.
And so building this library online where people would have access to information, where they might be able to learn more about options for themselves.
Exactly. And I guess we could probably go on and on. There was so much to it, but let's end maybe with the thing that Dr. Nguyen talked about, family secrets. And I was just really moved by how it can be very taboo to speak about health and disease or health care. And especially with cancer, it can have the stigma. So he made a fabulous suggestion that people come together, maybe it's at a family gathering at Thanksgiving or some other time. And after, expressing gratitude and thanks for your being together with your loved ones, or maybe even some complicated feelings for being with loved ones, but that people really talk to each other and share, because that genetic information with this now more and more precision medicine is really critical information for people to know. So, and I wondered if you had any final thoughts, Jenny.
Yes, I love that thought. The other thing that I really appreciated was that essentially taking that idea and then expanding it to the broader family of humanity, and that we are all responsible. And they talked about we all have a part to play.
Right. And let's end with his phrase that he said he repeated all the time. He says, we're one team and it's one fight.
Yes.
So thank you. We hope this was helpful, and we'll definitely share the link if you want to see the whole beautiful presentation.
Thank you.